Hello and welcome back to We Go East.
I'm Ashley.
And my name's Theo.
And in today's video, we're talking about the top 5 most annoying things about living in Japan.
Following on from last week's video about the top 5 best things about living in Japan, today we're talking about the most annoying things that really get to us on a day-to-day basis.
We're not talking about the worst things overall in Japan, we're just talking about the things that we ourselves find really annoying, like every day, like
Remember to stick around for number 1, the most annoying thing about living in Japan.
Well, let's get started. Number 5.
No night transport.
Japan has a serious lack of night transport. The last train is generally at like 12 to 1, max 1, that's the latest you can stay out, and then the next train is at 5 or 6 in the morning. So if you're out at karaoke and you forget to look at the time, that's it, you can't get home.
There's not much you can do because taxis in Japan are disgracefully expensive. They're extortionate. It's pretty much like paying for a hotel. They're like the same price.
So you're forced to stay out all night until the first train. Japan has an amazing range of all night long activities for this very situation. You can do all night long karaoke, free time karaoke, which is great. You can do bowling, go to arcades.
And if you get hungry, there's often all night ramen that's open 24 hours a day.
It's not just ramen, a lot of restaurants and izakayas, which kind of small pub food and drink establishments.
Where you can continue to drink if that's...
And eat.
And eat if that's your preference.
But the main takeaway from this is that it's so annoying that you can't get home sometimes. Like, even though you could go to all night long karaoke, you could go do all of these things, what if you don't want to? And you want to go home, and you can't go home? Yeah.
It's also a little expensive. If you've been out in the evening anyway, and then you're forced to pay for another 5-6 hours of extra stuff, your night can add up quite quickly. Moving on. Number 4.
Extreme seasons. Japan has some of the world's most extreme weather in general, like typhoons, but we're not talking about that today. We're just talking about the seasons in general and how extreme they are for us coming from England. So last year we actually lived in Hokkaido, which is Japan's most northern island, and it is freezing there in the winter.
It gets down to below -20. The main capital of the island, Sapporo, has 5 meters of snowfall, which is the highest of any major city in the world.
Where I lived in Hokkaido was covered in snow for like 6 months of the year, and you have to literally shovel yourself out of your house every morning to get to work, like shovel it out. Also, I was frozen out of my house, like locked out because it was frozen.
And in.
And I got locked in because it was frozen, like my door. Also, my toilet froze. My actual toilet froze.
The water in the bowl.
What? But then on the flip side, now we moved to Kobe, and summers in the rest of Japan, including Kobe, are renowned for being excruciatingly hot. It gets up to 40 degrees and really high humidity, so it's really sticky. People wear these like fans that you put around your neck to like blow your heat, and people have these cooling sprays that they spray on themselves, and then it like gets rid of your hot feeling. But it's annoying for us every day to have to go to work in these extreme temperatures. It's really annoying.
One thing I didn't realise is that Japan has a really big rainy season.
Japan actually has quite a large problem with umbrella theft, which is strange and interesting to us because we thought there was like no crime in Japan. But basically in the rainy season you obviously have your umbrella with you all the time, and when you go into a shop you put it in a holder outside, and then you come back out with your shopping and someone's stolen your umbrella.
It's actually got so bad that places have introduced like umbrella holders that have locks where you can literally lock your umbrella in to make sure it doesn't get stolen.
So it's annoying that we have to go to work and our daily lives with this extreme weather, and also someone might steal your umbrella,
leaving you soaking wet.
So Theo, what does this channel really need?
Well, thank you, Ashley. That's a great question. I'm glad you asked it. Well, recent studies have shown that the like button has not been smashed and the subscribe button also needs to be clicked. I don't know if you know this, but the YouTube algorithm really favours channels that have good like clicking ratios and many subscribers, and you as the audience can really help. Thank you very much. Back to you, Ashley.
Thank you. Okay, next. Number 3.
Expensive fresh food.
Why is it so expensive? Food in Japan, specifically fresh food, like fresh vegetables and
Fruit.
fruit is so ludicrously expensive. It's insane and it's really hard to eat the sort of diet I was eating before. If I want to buy an apple, and just one apple, it would cost me more than 100 yen. Whereas in the UK, I could get a whole bag of apples for that much. If I want to get like something exotic, like a mango, that's going to cost me like £5 just for one mango. And that's just normal fruit in the supermarket. That's not like the nice gift fruit, which is so insanely expensive. I can't even believe it.
Okay, I've got some prices for you here of really expensive fruit. Yubari King melon, $45,000. Would you pay that?
I would not. I would like $45,000, but I would not like a $45,000 melon.
Okay, watermelons, $6,000.
If it's a square watermelon, maybe I can understand, because that's quite impressive to me.
$460 per grape. How about a mango for 3,500 quid? Imagine a Rubicon made out of that. Rubicon, that drink.
Like Tropicana.
You know, the mango
I've
from the advert.
I've no idea what it's
What? If you know what I'm talking about, comment down below. Let us know what your thoughts are on the Rubicon adverts.
I only get Tropicana.
Mango!
How can you make Pims with all of this?
How could I-
Your Pims is going to cost like 100,000 quid for one jug of Pims. Can you imagine that? When your Apple costs as much as an iPhone.
Well, yeah, some of these like cost as much as like going to university for that melon. Like,
$45,000 for a melon. Who's buying that?
it's not like a sugar daddy; it's a melon daddy.
Melon daddy.
Melon daddy, get yourself a melon daddy.
Let us know in the comments if you want to be our melon daddy.
Rich melon daddies.
Taking donations. Moving on. Number 2.
No rubbish bins.
In Japan, there are very, very few rubbish bins on the street. It's not like you see them on every corner like you do in other countries like the UK. In Japan, there are none. You do get recycling bins for cans and bottles right next to vending machines, but apart from that, there are pretty much no bins.
It's really surprising actually that the streets can be so clean and yet there's no rubbish bins. You're like, how has that happened? But basically what happens is Japanese people, when they have any rubbish, they take it home with them and then they put it in the correct bin at home.
Yeah.
But for us, that's super frustrating. Like, if I'm out and I have some rubbish, I want a bin. I want to put it in a bin. I don't want to put it in my bag. It's really annoying.
Especially when you buy like food or stuff that, you know, like ice cream for example, it melts and it goes over your hand on the wrapper. What are you supposed to do with it?
Yeah.
Just like clutch it in your like ice creamy fist until you find a bin or go home.
But also, like, until you find a bin, you're not going to find a bin for like, you can walk with something for like 10 minutes.
Not about half an hour.
You have to like find some sort of thing like Starbucks and then sneak in and like put it in their bin and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's so frustrating.
Yeah.
Every day it's annoying because I love eating snacks, but I'd rather not buy the snack and not eat it than have like all this rubbish that I have to carry around with me, especially if I don't have a bag with me.
Yeah. It's very annoying.
It's really annoying. Okay, the last one, the most annoying thing. Number 1.
Cash-based society. As we said in our previous video, the fact that you can pay for stuff, you know, in cash at convenience stores and whatever, is very useful. It's very easy to keep track of your stuff because you're spending physical cash and it gives you a real sense of spending money, unlike in other countries with a sort of contactless card. However, this also has some really significant downsides.
You would think in a cash-based society where everyone is using cash as their main form of paying for things, that there would be ATMs that you could access.
At all hours of the day.
But no!
Oh no!
In Japan, ATMs close.
And they don't close at like midnight, they close at like 6 p.m.
If I go to my ATM, my own bank's ATM after 5, I have to pay to use it. It's so frustrating that you have to pay to get your own money out, and that's the only way you can pay. So you have to get it out, and you have to pay.
And you're getting money out like all the time because it's a cash-based society. And so over the course of a year, you do end up spending a fair bit on like ATM fees.
Even in your own bank.
Yeah.
What?
It's really annoying.
Also, people don't have debit cards here. Obviously, Japanese people do have debit cards and credit cards. But as foreigners, it can be really hard, and it is really hard for us to go, us to get
Yep.
cards. So for instance, we went into Japan Post, which is the biggest
The main
bank.
Japanese bank, and I originally applied for a debit card. They were very, very coy about giving me information, but I eventually got the paperwork, filled it out, and went in to give it to them. However, I got there and they said, "Oh, sorry, we've stopped accepting applications for debit cards," which meant they are now no longer issuing debit cards. Like, Japan is regressing.
With credit cards, it's even harder because, first of all, as a foreigner, you might not be trusted,
Yeah.
and your credit history in another country might not count.
Yeah.
So you might just get flat rejected for a credit card.
You need to wait at least 6 months to have bills and payments built up in your name to even apply for a Japanese credit card.
But say you're all good to go. You might get rejected anyway because our names are just too long to
Yeah.
fill in the forms. For instance, a Japanese name can be like 2 to 4 characters. Tanaka is 2 characters. My name is like 20 characters,
Yeah.
and the box is like big enough for like 6. And then you get stuck in Japanese bureaucracy. It's very hard to make things work in a system that is not designed for these sort of
foreign
challenges.
names.
Yeah.
Like, I applied for a credit card through one company, and I thought about this problem. My name might be too long, which it was. So I just left out my middle name and I thought, oh, it'll be fine. Normally it's fine. It's fine in the UK. One of my cards doesn't have a middle name. However, when I ordered it, it processed. Oh, wow, you're accepted. The delivery man came and he asked to see my ID, which obviously has my middle name. And because it had the extra name, he refused to give it to me. And now I literally cannot get a credit card.
It's really difficult.
It's by far the most annoying thing, coming from a country where everything's almost contactless nowadays. You can beep, pay for that,
Yeah.
beep, pay for that.
It's frustrating for me as well because if I'm spending cash, like I'm spending cash, like who knows where it's going, I'm taking it out the machine, I'm spending it,
Taking it out the machine, I'm spending it. Taking it out the machine, I'm spending it.
and I'm like, huh? Where's all my money gone? In the UK, it was all on my phone, like that's where it's gone. You bought like 5 pizzas or something. But
Yeah.
here, like I don't know, and it's really annoying. People think Japan is like really futuristic, but actually they still use like bank books. They don't have debit cards. But if you're living in Japan as a foreigner, it's gonna be hard.
Yeah. And there you have it. Those are our top 5 most annoying things about living in Japan.
It's obviously not the worst things. Like Japan is still a great place to live.
That's another video, the top 5 worst things about Japan.
That is another video. Like
this-
these things are just like daily things that you're just
Yeah.
like, like why? Why is it like that? Let us know in the comments which one you think is the most annoying,
Yeah.
or which one would annoy you the most.
Yeah. Tune in next Friday for a new video. And if you enjoyed the video, remember to like, share and subscribe. We'll see you next time.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.
Hi.